Hi. Welcome to the Wise Archive. Here, we make language learning simple and interesting. With us, you'll forget you're even studying and enjoy every moment. Michael Jordan is a famous basketball player. He is known all over the world. Many people think he is the best player in history. He has played in big stadiums with thousands of people watching. He has scored many points, won many games, and lifted many trophies. But before all of this, he was just a boy with a dream. He wanted to play basketball, and he wanted to be great. His dream was very simple, but very strong. Michael was born in New York in 1963. His family was big, and his parents worked hard. Later they moved to North Carolina, where the air was warm and the streets were quiet. He grew up there with his brothers and sisters. The house was small but full of energy. He liked to run outside, play in the yard, and laugh with his family. He looked at the tall trees near his home and thought about climbing higher. He thought about reaching something big. As a boy, he loved to play many games. He played baseball, football, and basketball. He wanted to move, he wanted to run, he wanted to win. The sound of a ball bouncing on the street was his music. The hot sun touched his face. The smell of grass was in the air. He often stayed outside until it was dark. He looked again at the ball in his hands, and he thought again about his dream. At school, Michael was not the tallest boy. In fact, he was shorter than many others. He wanted to play on the team, but sometimes it was not easy. He knew that he must work hard. He knew that he must try every day. He felt happy when he scored, but he felt worried when he missed. He liked to see the ball go through the hoop. He liked to hear the cheer of friends. He often said to himself that he must do more. He often said to himself that he must not stop. His father gave him advice. His mother gave him love. They wanted him to be strong and honest. He wanted to make them proud. He wanted to show them that he could do something special. Michael also liked to spend time with his brothers. They played together in the yard. The games were noisy. The competition was strong. Sometimes he lost. Sometimes he won. But every time he learned something. He thought that every game could give him a lesson. He thought that every mistake could give him a chance. Life was not expensive or rich. The clothes were simple. The food was simple. They ate together. They talked together. The smell of dinner filled the kitchen. The taste of sweet tea was on the table. Michael learned to enjoy small things. He learned to enjoy time with family. He looked around and he knew what he had. In those years, his dreams started to grow. He wanted to play basketball more and more. He wanted to see how far he could go. The sound of sneakers on the floor was like a song. The light of the gym was bright. The ball was orange and strong in his hands. He looked again at the hoop. He thought again about his dream. Michael Jordan was still only a boy, but he was already moving toward his future. He was not famous yet. He was not rich yet. But he had a dream, and he had the will to follow it. That dream was to be a great player, maybe even the best player. It was simple, but it was powerful. It was the beginning of his story. When Michael became a teenager, life started to change. His body grew taller, and his legs became stronger. He could jump higher, and he could run faster. The ball in his hands felt lighter. He began to see that basketball was not only a game for him. It could be his future. Yet he also knew it would not be easy. At his high school in North Carolina, he wanted to play on the main team. He dreamed of wearing the school uniform and playing in front of a crowd. But one year, the coach did not choose him. Michael felt sad. He looked at the list and did not see his name. He went home with heavy steps. He thought, again and again, that he was not good enough. He thought, again and again, that maybe he would never be chosen. The air that day felt cold. The sound of other players in the gym was loud, but for him, it was painful. He wanted to be there. He wanted to play. But he was outside. Still, something inside him did not break. He told himself that he must try again. He told himself that he must work harder than before. He told himself that he must never give up. So he went to practice every day. He practiced in the morning. He practiced at night. He practiced when the sun was hot. He practiced when the air was cool. He took the ball, and he shot again and again. He counted his shots, and he wanted each one to be better. His hands were tired, his legs were tired, but he continued. He wanted to improve. He wanted to grow. Later, the coach saw his effort. Later, the coach saw his progress. Michael became part of the team. He felt proud when he finally put on the uniform. He looked in the mirror and smiled. The smell of sweat was strong in the locker room. The sound of shoes on the court was music to him. He was ready to play, and he was ready to prove himself. He scored points, he defended, he ran. He learned how to win, but he also learned how to lose. He thought that both were important. He thought that both could teach him something. His school friends cheered for him. His family supported him. He began to feel that his dream was possible. He began to feel that he could go higher. When he was at home, he often watched basketball on television. He watched professional players, and he studied them. He looked at how they moved, how they jumped, how they passed. He thought about doing the same one day. He thought about being on television himself. His eyes were full of light when he watched the games. His ears were full of the noise of the crowd. He also played other sports, but basketball was special. It gave him joy, it gave him hope, it gave him a goal. He often said to himself that this was the path. He often said to himself that this was the way. His dream became bigger, and his work became stronger. By the time he was finishing high school, many people had noticed him. Coaches came to see him. They wanted to give him a chance at university. Michael was excited, but also nervous. He knew this was a big step. He knew this could change his life. One day he received good news. He was accepted to the University of North Carolina. He could play basketball there. The place was famous, the games were important, and the crowd was huge. Michael felt his heart beat fast. He felt ready to go, ready to try, ready to make his dream real. He looked again at the ball in his hands. He thought again about his dream. He was not just a boy now. He was a young man, and he was on his way to something great. At the University of North Carolina, Michael entered a new world. The campus was big, the buildings were old and beautiful, and the gym was full of light. Students walked with books in their hands, music played from open windows, and the air carried the smell of fresh food from the cafeteria. Michael looked around and felt both happy and worried. He was happy because he had reached a new level. He was worried because the challenge was much bigger. The basketball team was famous, and the players were strong. The games were serious, and the crowd was large. Thousands of fans came to watch. They shouted, they clapped, and they made the gym shake with sound. Michael knew that he must give his best. He knew that he must show he belonged there. The first practices were difficult. He ran until his legs hurt. He shot the ball until his arms were heavy. He listened to the coach, who told him to focus, to fight, to never stop. Michael thought again and again that he must be ready. He thought again and again that he must not fail. He liked the rhythm of student life. In the morning he went to classes. He carried his books, he sat with other students, he wrote notes. Later he went to the gym. The smell of wood and sweat filled the air. The sound of balls bouncing was constant. At night he studied, but he also thought about the next game. He often said to himself that he must balance both study and sport. One special year came. In 1982, his team reached the national championship. The game was big, the stage was bigger. Millions of people watched on television. The air was full of pressure, the lights were bright, and the noise of the crowd was like thunder. Michael was still young, only a freshman, but he was on the court. The game was close. The ball moved from side to side. Every point was important. Every second was heavy. Michael's heart beat fast. He thought again about his dream. He thought again about all his work. Then, in the last moments, he took the ball. He looked at the hoop. He shot. The ball went in. His team won. That shot became famous. People talked about it everywhere. Newspapers wrote about the young player. Coaches and fans remembered his name. Michael Jordan was no longer just a student. He was a rising star. He felt proud, but he also felt something else. He felt that this was only the beginning. After that victory, life changed for him. Reporters came to ask questions. Fans wanted his autograph. People started to see him as a future professional. Michael listened, but he also stayed focused. He knew he must continue to work. He knew one success was not enough. He often said to himself that he must do more. He often said to himself that he must go higher. At university, he continued to play well. He scored points, he defended, he passed, he led. His teammates trusted him, and his coach guided him. The sound of the crowd grew louder each game. The smell of popcorn in the arena mixed with the sound of whistles and cheers. Michael looked again at the court. He thought again about his dream. Later, in 1984, he made a big decision. He left university early to join the professional league. He felt ready, and he wanted to test himself. The National Basketball Association, the NBA, was the biggest stage in the world. The players were the best. The games were faster, harder, louder. Michael wanted to be there. He wanted to show that he could stand with the best. So he entered the NBA draft. Teams chose young players for their future. The Chicago Bulls chose him. He became their player. Michael put on the red uniform, and he looked at the city. Chicago was big, noisy, full of life. The wind was cold, the streets were busy, and the fans were waiting. Michael Jordan was now a professional. His dream was alive, but new challenges were coming. Michael Jordan's first years in the NBA were exciting but difficult. The Chicago Bulls were not the strongest team yet. Other teams had older players and more experience. Michael ran, jumped, and scored points, but sometimes the team lost. The gym was full of noise. The fans shouted, the ball bounced loudly on the floor, and the referee blew the whistle. Michael looked again at his teammates. He knew they must work together to win. He spent hours every day training. He ran until his legs were sore. He jumped until his arms were heavy. He practiced his shots again and again. He wanted every movement to be perfect. He wanted to show that he could fly on the court. People started to call him Air Jordan. He liked the name, but he thought that actions were more important than words. Still, the life of a professional player was not easy. Michael had injuries. His ankles hurt. His body felt tired after long games. Sometimes he wanted to rest, but he could not stop. He must train, he must play, and he must give his best. He thought again that every game was a chance to improve. He thought again that every practice could make him stronger. Fans started to notice his skill. They watched his moves on television. They shouted his name in arenas. Children wore his jersey. Adults bought his shoes. The city of Chicago began to love him. They saw his energy, his speed, and his jumps. They felt proud when he scored points. Michael Jordan was becoming more than a player. He was a symbol. In 1991, something important happened. The Bulls reached the finals. The games were tense. The lights were bright. The crowd was loud. Every player gave their best. Michael ran, passed, and scored. He wanted to win more than ever. His teammates worked with him. They wanted the championship too. Together, they were strong. Finally, the Bulls won the championship. Michael held the trophy high. He felt happy, proud, and relieved. The fans shouted and clapped. The city celebrated. It was the first championship for Michael Jordan and the Bulls. People said that he was special. They said he had changed basketball. Michael smiled but thought again that this was only the beginning. The Bulls did not stop there. They won the next 2 championships, 3 times in a row. People called it a three-peat. Michael's name was everywhere. The world started to know him. His shoes, called Air Jordans, became very popular. Children wanted them. Adults wanted them. His image was on posters and magazines. The sound of cheering and excitement followed him everywhere. But life also gave him difficulties. In 1993, his father was killed. Michael was very sad. He thought about his family and his life. He stopped playing basketball for a while. He wanted to do something different. He tried baseball because his father loved it. The stadiums were quiet compared to basketball, and the ball felt different in his hands. Michael learned a new sport, but his heart still wanted basketball. In 1995, he returned to the Bulls. He said only 2 words, "I'm back." The fans were happy. The stadium was full again. He wore his old number 23 and played with energy and speed. He was older, but his mind was strong. He jumped, he ran, he scored, and he led the team. The crowd shouted his name louder than ever. Michael helped the Bulls win 3 more championships. They had the best season in history in 1996, winning 72 games. He showed that hard work and determination could make dreams real. He looked again at the ball, looked again at the hoop, and thought again about all his achievements. His story was not only about winning, but also about hope, effort, and returning after difficulties. After winning 6 championships with the Bulls, Michael Jordan retired in 1998. The stadiums were quiet, and the fans missed him. The sound of sneakers on the court and the bouncing ball felt empty without him. He wanted to spend time with his family. He wanted to rest and enjoy life after many years of hard work. He played golf, traveled, and watched his children grow. Even after retiring, Michael's story was not finished. In 2001, he returned to play for the Washington Wizards. The jersey was blue, different from the red of Chicago, and the city was new. The fans welcomed him everywhere. The gyms were full, the lights were bright, and the ball felt familiar in his hands. He was older, but his mind was clear. He wanted to show young players how to work hard. During these years, Michael was not only a player but also a teacher. He helped younger teammates, shared advice, and showed them how to run, jump, and pass. He explained how to focus and how to fight for every point. The sound of the crowd, the smell of popcorn, and the shine of the polished court reminded him of Chicago. Yet he was proud to play again, even without winning championships. In 2003, he retired for the last time. Michael was 40 years old. The NBA honored him with a farewell ceremony. Fans and players from all teams clapped, cheered, and cried. Michael looked at the gym, the lights, and the fans. He thought about the boy from North Carolina, the young man at university, and the player in Chicago. He thought about all the steps he had taken to reach this moment. After basketball, Michael Jordan focused on business and giving back. He became a team owner and invested in companies. He gave money to schools and supported young athletes. His shoes, Air Jordans, remained popular worldwide. Children, teenagers, and adults wanted them. They were more than shoes. They were symbols of hard work, determination, and style. Michael Jordan's influence spread beyond basketball. People around the world watched his games again and again. They studied his moves, his jumps, and his shots. They tried to learn from him. Young athletes thought about his dedication and effort. They dreamed of being like him. Michael's story became a lesson in courage, persistence, and achieving goals. He had a strong legacy. He showed that failure is not the end. He showed that hard work can make dreams real. He gave joy to fans, inspiration to children, and hope to young players everywhere. People remembered not only his victories but also his discipline, focus, and return after challenges. Michael Jordan became more than a basketball player. He became a symbol of excellence and courage. Even today, his games are studied. His style, skill, and confidence inspire new generations. Coaches teach his moves, Players imitate his techniques, and fans celebrate his story. His life shows that small beginnings can lead to great achievements. Michael Jordan's journey from a boy with a dream to a global icon is remembered forever.